My dad had several jobs,
Yeah.
and working for his uncle was a third job. And he's a jack of all trades, if you will. But
Yeah.
he took a particular liking into making tortillas,
Yeah.
and that's what he decided that he wanted to be good at. Dove right into it.
It's probably nice when you make something or create something for somebody and you see the appreciation on their face when they try it. That's hooks you in. You want to keep doing that. Is that kind of how your father just stuck with it?
Oh, absolutely.
The first 1 to 2 years are very difficult, right? You're trying to cash flow everything, you process procedure, you're trying to manage that balance sheet and get things going.
It's undescribable. It's why I do what I do.
The hardest part is, now I'm basically responsible for, 20 something employees.
And they're 2.5s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 75 to 100 people that are looking at you. What's the key to making a great tortilla?
Keep it simple.
Okay.
We literally have 3 ingredients in our corn tortillas.
So right before we got on camera, we heard the story of kind of the maturation process of Sabina's and how things have progressed. Your great uncle started as a tortilla maker. Take us from there.
So my father used to work for his uncle, my great uncle, in the early 60s. And he would work on the weekends and help him out, and basically learned the tortilla business through his uncle, who had already been around for almost 20 years, making tortillas for the Pilsen community.
Okay.
And my dad, in 77, 78, purchased Savina's, which was a small neighborhood tortilleria that sold hot tortillas to its local residents.
Okay.
And over the next several decades, grew the business into, multi-state, and just had it everywhere.
So your great uncle started here in the Chicagoland area.
Yeah.
Okay. And he's doing it for 20 years. Did your father go and kind of work as like a teenager there and kind of learn the ropes, or did he go off and do another career and then got pulled in?
So my dad had several jobs,
Yeah.
and working for his uncle was a third job. And, he's a, jack of all trades, if you will, but
Yeah.
he took a particular liking into making tortillas.
Yeah.
And that's what he decided that he wanted to be good at, and, dove right into it. And
It's always interesting things like this because it's kind of like an art form. Like, this as an artist, right? There's kind of an art to doing something like this. You got to put a lot of heart into it, a lot of creativity. You kind of develop your formula. So your father had these other gigs and said, no, this kind of hits my heart, hits my creative feel. And I would imagine the reaction that you get, it's probably nice when you make something or create something for somebody and you see the appreciation on their face when they try it. That's hooks you in. You want to keep doing that. Is that kind of how your father just stuck with it?
Oh, absolutely. Even for me, when someone compliments me on one of our products, whether it's our chips or corn tortillas, I mean, it just makes me feel good and tells me I'm doing what I was meant to do.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, so your great uncle starts the business. Your father comes in. He kind of professionalizes it. He takes it to another level. So Sabina's was already operating under a different ownership.
Under different ownership, yeah, it was. They had a small oven and basically produced a limited amount of tortillas that was literally for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Inhabitants.
Almost like a hobby.
Yeah, I mean, people would go and buy a kilo of hot tortillas for the day, and
Yeah.
It was by no means in any retail stores or restaurants. Strictly just to feed the community, I guess.
I love it. Okay, so what was your father's kind of vision? How did he take it to the next step? Like, what beyond making the tortillas and that craft, like what was the kind of the business mindset that he had?
Well, the first thing he did was buy bigger ovens. The initial owner had a 2-row corn oven. My dad bought a 4-row, so he immediately
Immediately double it up.
Yeah. And then designed packaging for retail stores, and that was his first goal, is to get
retail.
our stuff into the stores.
Okay. So now, around what age are you as this is happening?
Oh gosh, you're asking me that, huh? So this was now like in the early '80s is
Okay.
when he started getting our tortillas into the stores, and when I would notice it in our local grocery store, and that was the early '80s in Chicago, was pretty much the heyday of uh, tor- tortilla owners, because there was only a handful of us at the time. There was probably 5 or 6 companies out there, and everyone had their little,
Niche.
niche with,
Yeah.
and ours was no preservatives. So better for you, but not a terribly long shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
But people that wanted natural, good for you
Yeah.
would buy from us.
How important has it been for you to hold the line on that? I would imagine it's really hard when you're going up against some of the bigger folks, some of the name brands and so on, even some of the local small businesses that maybe have gotten some money to invest into them, but they're not sticking to that all natural. How hard is it for you to kind of hold to that purpose, that core value, when maybe you're getting pulled in a different direction?
So I'm trying, I've still stuck to that all natural, as, even in our chips. It definitely makes it more challenging to get into a bigger chain, because they like long shelf life.
Yeah.
But, there's plenty of room in the market for someone like us. And thankfully, our chips don't last long on the shelves to begin with. So
Yeah. That's
I
a
can
good
live with
problem to
that.
have. Mike, does it have anything to do with your graphic design, do you think?
Well, I mean, there's enhancements with packaging. It's more than just decorating a box or a
Yeah.
bag, right? So sticking true to the brand itself, and having the consumer really have it be appealing to them.
Yeah.
That's always the challenge. And using more colors, of course, is kind of
I love the
first step,
colors.
you know.
The colors definitely pop, and especially for a food product, they kind of make you hungry. That brown and that orange kind of gives that feel. So what's it like, the two of you kind of collaborating together? You have the vision. Mike helps that vision to kind of come to life. I would imagine you have a good open relationship where Mike can kind of bring his creativity and his professionalism into perspective. So what's it like working with Forefront and working with Mike
I
specifically?
mean, Mike is amazing. I gave him just a few bullet points that I wanted, and he, went off with very little direction. If you saw our old packaging, I don't think we had it for 30 years. We never updated our packaging. So it's really night and day. The only thing I said is, like, I want our logo to stand out in the bag.
Yeah.
And then everything else is Mike, and we've gotten such, amazing feedback on these bags.
All right, and so who's the young lady on the logo? I'm always interested how logos come into fruition, and like what's the story behind it. So give us a little bit of the story behind it, the young lady on the logo, and some of those bullet points maybe that you gave to Mike.
So Sabinas is a small town in Mexico.
Okay.
And it's the town that my mother's from, coincidentally. That lady represents the young women of Sabinas, who are known for their colorful dresses. They have a big festival every year where dressmakers showcase these amazing,
The new
like,
styles.
yeah. So initially, she was a lady that represented the town of Sabinas. now more recently we gave her name. Her name is Sabrina from Sabinas.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's really good.
But yeah, she represents the town of Sabinas, and the mountain backdrop is a famous mountain from Monterey, which is the big city adjacent to Sabinas, the small town.
Okay. It's outstanding. So, how did you get pulled in? Obviously, you're watching your father, right? A lot of times, entrepreneurs, whether first or second generation, they almost always have gone through the blood, sweat, and tears of building up the business. Maybe there's been a lot of ups and downs. They're working a ton of hours. They're trying to find their way. In many cases, they're not trained businessmen and women. They have a passion project. They have a great product, but they kind of are learning the business as they go. So in many cases, once they've started to hit it, their ambition for their kids is like, go be a lawyer, go be a doctor, go be a this. Don't go through the 80 hours a week of blood, sweat, and tears that I've had. I had to do that to get you to a point where you can live a better life. Yet you decide that you're going to come into the business. So tell us a little bit of why you were inspired to come in and become the third generation owner, and walk us through the trials and tribulations of that, because it hasn't been easy.
No, it hasn't. And funny enough, I actually did go to law school and graduated from law school.
Of course you did. See, I'm not as dumb as I look.
Yeah,
Don't
you nailed
answer
it.
that.
But throughout my life, I had always worked at the factory, like on school breaks or summers. So I grew up kind of knowing the business, if you will. But yeah, my dad was like, "Go do something else." I did. I graduated from law school in '99. Worked in the legal field for 3 or 4 years, and then in the early 2000s, my dad said, "Hey, if you really want to learn this business, why don't you come here full time?" And I immediately said yes. And I've been doing this ever since.
Okay, so before we got on camera, you had said, anyone who started a business or reopened a business in this case, kind of ground up, reopening it back up,
Starting
right? So it's
zero.
almost like starting from it
Absolutely.
is starting from zero, other than the fact you had the recipes and kind of the concept and all that stuff. But the first 1 to 2 years are very difficult, right? You're trying to cash flow everything, process, procedure. You're trying to manage that balance sheet and get things going. And you had made a really cool comment that you've now gotten to a point where if this is the floor, then life is good. You're going to be okay, and it's just building on this. So what is the big ambition beyond that? Like, where are we going with this? Because as you mentioned, you have a lot of obstacles, and those obstacles are almost like a big world drag, where it's like you got to run with the herd. The herd's using all the preservatives. The herd is mass marketing. The herd is mass producing. The herd, they're not cooking with the kettle. They're mass producing these things, which takes away from the end result of the product, but they're selling more product. And I've always found this fascinating, especially in the food industry. The inferior product has great marketing and sells more. So I use like the McDonald's concept. Like, if you want a hamburger, let's be honest, I'm gonna go to my local pub. It's gonna be $9 to $16 for that burger, but that thing is gonna be good, right? But they only sell probably 40 of them a day, right? Whereas McDonald's sells billions a day, but we're not really sure what actually is even in that hamburger, right? So it's kind of a shame that the inferior product outsells the superior product. But I always have mad respect for those that focus on a superior product. That being said, how do you balance the two? What's the big vision without losing your identity?
So, therein lies the challenges.
That's why I asked that question.
How do we scale up and maintain the quality that we've had for the past 40 years, 50 years? The easy answer is just open another plant in another region of the country.
Yeah.
Right now I got my hands full with this one facility, but one of my 5-year goals is to open another plant somewhere else. Hopefully, one of my brothers or someone else can run that plant, and you grow by multiplying.
Yeah. It's always interesting that the easy answer is always difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like we know exactly what we should do, but it's not exactly the easy path, right?
Right.
So, if you were going to diversify in some sort of way, have you thought of maybe product mix, some things that you potentially are going to add to the mix of products, or is it about mastery? Is it about saying, hey, these are our 3 products, and we're just going to continue to nail this and get the story out and tell the story and brand it? Or are there some ideas that you have, because you are creative, are there some ideas that you have of diversification through adding to your product mix?
So that's a constant debate with my brothers and I.
Yeah.
One of my brothers feels like simplification is better and streamline what we do best
Yeah.
and sell most of. I'm always looking for something to add or something else to do.
Yeah.
And maybe that's because of my creative brain. It just doesn't stop. I'm always, every time I go to a grocery store, I immediately go to their chip section, I go to their tortilla section, and I want to see what's out there.
Yeah.
But right now, I think we have a fine balance of enough products, to keep us going. But I'll never say no to an idea or,
Yeah, I mean, it would be hard not to, because, like, for instance, Forefront, had they not said, hey, let's add graphic design, the company wouldn't have spiked the way that it is. So it's so to your point, it's like, hey, they knew what they did really, really well already, but you kind of got to go, hey, what if we do this? So I can understand where your brother's saying, hey, look, let's just master this and be the best at this thing. But also there's something kind of sexy to the idea of, like, what if we add this? Does it open the door? Does it open more doors for the thing that we already know we're great at? Right? Because that's what happened here. It's like,
and it's like the unknown.
Yeah.
You're not sure. You're
it's
not
kind of
positive.
scary, but it's like kind of exhilarating at the same time. Like, there's a whole nother world out there that maybe you haven't tapped into that might open up more doors for the thing you're already doing.
Absolutely.
I'll be curious to be watching you over the next year or 2 years to see who wins that arm wrestling match and does it. But I'm sure to be successful either way. Mike, do you have anything in particular that you want to add, or you want to share?
I will share. A story. So I grew up listening to some different types of music.
Okay.
Specifically punk rock music growing up, and when I
thought it would have been yacht rock, but that's fine. Okay.
Well,
you do
maybe
you.
the shirt's a little
I mean, the
deceiving.
shirt said yacht rock, so just maybe Beach Boys. I don't know, but
I got my
all right.
studded belt.
Fair
on.
enough. How does that make you feel? The fact that people are streaming that they're checking it out. I mean, when you put something like that together, that's a huge ordeal. That's a big project. And I would imagine, while there is a tremendous sense of pride in people buying your products, your passion of your life, this is a creative passion that is a piece of you. So what's that feel like?
I mean, there's no better feeling than seeing something that you started, and finished. We had a full house during our premiere. We sold out the theater, and we were playing against other movies. Like, I think Step Brothers was out.
Get out of town.
So
You call me Nighthawk.
I have a picture that has our poster next to Step Brothers, and I forgot what other movies, but all these.
Did we just become best friends?
So much room for
I hear they're
activity.
making a sequel, by the way.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my gosh.
So during the almost 5 years that we were closed, I was actually just as busy, if not busier, than when I was working full time at Sabina's. Now I'm just trying to find, allocate time, because I still,
Still have
the
those
bakery's
passions.
still going
Yeah.
on. Still working with Richie, still working with Sabina's, but I'm constantly, go, go, go.
I love it. So what's been the hardest part about being a business owner, especially juggling multiple brands and multiple projects at once? What's been the hardest part, but also gratifying because it's difficult?
The hardest part is, now I'm basically responsible for 20 something employees.
And they're 2.5s.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like 75 to 100 people that are looking at you.
Where in the past, they would run to my dad with any issues, or now I'm the guy that they come to, and it's nonstop, or any problems that occur during production, or it's just it's not easy.
Are you a give me the ball kind of guy, though? You want the final shot in the fourth quarter? Like, don't you kind of like that pressure?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Yeah.
roll up my sleeves, and I live and die by my decisions, and sometimes I get them right, and sometimes I don't.
I heard from an entrepreneur that owned 3 businesses, probably has like 5, and talked about you make hundreds of decisions a day.
Absolutely.
And he always said, look, if I go home and I know that 51% of them are right, that's a good day.
Yeah.
So it's
I
not
agree
even
with
like
that.
90%. It's like 51%.
Yeah.
I mean,
You
it's
can't
kind of
go
like
wrong.
baseball. If you bat 275 right now, you're actually like an all-star,
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, there's some days, we start early in the morning. I try to get there. We open at 6, so I get there a little bit before then. Literally, from the moment I get there, people are running up to me and I'm making decisions nonstop throughout the day.
Now, do you see that as something that you want to work on and you want to modify and change? Because if you have ambitions to scale and grow, I'd imagine that can't continue. There's got to be some folks that step up. So are you starting to build out a team that is able to take some of that decision-making away from you, and then you're partnering with people like Mike and Forefront who, become an extension of your brand and help you to take some of those pains away?
Absolutely. So, yeah, no, Forefront to me is an extension of Sabina's. Ever since we connected when I first reopened, I think Melanie stopped by 6 months into our reopening. And, we've been together ever since.
Yeah.
Meeting Mike was amazing. And he's responsible for updating, 6 or 7 of my products. Since I reopened. So really, almost every one of my products has Mike's touch to it.
How does that feel for you, Mike? Because I know you knowing you, and you've been here with Forefront not for its inceptions. You've been here for a year and a half, 2 years maybe.
A little over, yeah, 2.5.
2.5.
Almost 3.
But kind of a game changer for the brand in that the diversification through the growth through diversification by adding products and services, in this case, graphic design, has been instrumental in the growth of Forefront. So when you hear that directly from a client in a sincere way, how does that make you feel?
It's undescribable. It's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
Meeting the most unique, passionate craftsmen, right? And that's Ernesto right here. I mean, it's never the same job, one after another. There's always something new, something beautiful to latch onto, and to it's just amazing to help, enhance what they're already doing so great.
Can we throw a shout out in the comments to Mike's shirt? Like, can we? I mean, come on. Like, I want to go to a beach. I feel like it's got tortilla chips on it, kind of. But those are like
It's abstract. It could be
there's a
whatever you
lot
want
of
it to
stuff
be.
happening there, and it's fantastic. I love it. But that also tells you about culture, because the environment here is very much culture first, very culture driven. Be unique, be your unique self. Like, be free. We a brand I worked at, we had a core value: be free to imagine more, and I like that. It uses very persuasive words, but that's kind of a feeling when you come here to Forefront, and you're working with another creative here, so you kind of have that freedom.
Yeah.
If we walked into your headquarters, Ernesto, what are we going to feel as a culture at your brand? What has been your stamp that you've put in there? Your father obviously had his stamp. I would imagine some of what's happening there even started with your great uncle. Your father put his thing in. Now you've come in and put your values in. What does it feel like when you walk in the doors of your plant or your headquarters?
Well, the first thing you notice is I have a wall that has pictures with celebrities holding our chip bags, so it's kind of cool to see. You know, everyone from moonwalkers to actors and musicians. So that's the first thing.
Yeah. A
Secondly,
vibe. There's a
yeah, you
vibe.
get that
Yeah.
vibe for sure. I tried to leave as much unchanged as I could, but modernize it,
Yeah.
which is
You
kind
got to
of
put your
where-
flavor on it.
Yeah, you walk in and we have a little retail store there, so you can see all of our products, and you immediately see our new designs. You know that Mike.
Just
is-
logoed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no mistaking that you're inside Sabina's. 'Cause it's,
That's good.
but yeah, so I'm trying to give it a modern feel, but maintain. Our building is over 100 years old, and it used to be a post office in Pilsen.
Oh, wow.
It went from being a post office to a bank, then a bowling alley,
Yeah.
and then a tortilla.
Natural transitions.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, natural transitions.
very
That makes
linear.
total sense.
Yeah,
A lot of post offices have bowling alleys inside of them, so that turn into tortilla manufacturers. So there's
Celebrities
all
everywhere.
different styles of leadership, right? And some folks talk about being a servant leader. What would you say, in so many words, is your style of leadership?
So I like to give my team as much leeway as possible.
Treat them like adults, they'll act like adults.
As long as they produce good product, I'm not watching them like a hawk, timing their lunch breaks, or
Yeah.
if they do their work and do it well, and our product is good, then I pretty much stay off their backs.
Yeah, if you're timing them, they're likely timing you.
Absolutely.
Meaning they're looking at the clock they're not walking in at 8:15 for a 9 o'clock start, right? They're walking in at 8:59.59.
For sure.
And they're looking at the clock at 4:58, right? But if you kind of give them the freedom to just get the job done, then it's likely they're going to have more of a sense of pride because they don't feel like they're on the clock. So again, they're not going to put you on the clock. I love that part of culture. You see the core values on the wall here. Is that a thing that you practice as well?
Absolutely. Every employee's opinion matters to me. I still learn. I've been in this business for over 20 years, and I learn things every day. And I tell my employees, don't be afraid to disagree with me, because I want the truth. I want your opinion. And there's been times where I change something based off of something one of my workers said. So
It's great.
it's
It's
I'm
a
always
community.
learning.
You've
Yeah.
built a community, not just a
Absolutely.
company. What's the key to making a great tortilla?
Keep it simple.
Okay.
We literally have 3 ingredients in our corn tortillas: water, calcium hydroxide, which is a natural preservative, and corn.
Wow.
That's it. Now, if you look at the ingredients of some of the other companies,
I mean,
there's
you won't even know what they are. They
syllables,
come from another planet sometimes, I think.
Can't pronounce half of them.
They're been invented in a lab.
Right.
It's like, but you're talking about, I mean, this is all natural, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? So if it's coming from the earth, right?
absolutely.
So
Keep it simple.
as far as like flavoring and seasoning and all of those things, there's a secret formula to that type of stuff, right?
Well, when it comes to our chips, we still kettle cook our chips, which is very rare nowadays because it's not easy to mass produce.
Yeah.
It's more time consuming and labor intensive, but the quality, and that you can't recreate that taste.
Yeah.
So we kettle cook ours, and everything is done by hand. And most of my workers, or a lot of them, have been with me for over 20 years. And in fact, when we were shut down, everyone immediately found work elsewhere. But when I was getting the band back together, so to speak,
Let's go. Road trip.
they left the security of a job that they held for 4+ years and had believed in my vision enough to walk away from, security.
They bet on you so you could bet on them.
And, here we are in September 16th. It'll be our 3-year anniversary. of the
Congratulations.
opening.